The Fox and the Stork. It began on a quiet evening at the edge of the forest, where the shadows stretched long and the air smelled faintly of pine. And somewhere between the rustling leaves and the fading sunlight, a fox was planning a trick. Reynard the fox, sly as smoke and twice as quick, had invited his neighbor, the tall, elegant Stork, to dinner. A grand feast, he'd promised, with a grin sharp enough to cut through bark. And the Stork, polite and trusting, accepted with a graceful nod. When she arrived, the night was calm, the moon hanging low like a silver lantern. The fox welcomed her warmly, tail sweeping like a curtain. But then she saw the meal. Soup, thin soup, served on a perfectly flat plate. The fox lapped it up effortlessly, slurping and smacking and humming with exaggerated delight. The Stork could only lower her long beak toward the plate, tap the surface, and lift her head again, empty every time. She tried, and tried, and tried. But the meal was impossible. The fox laughed, full and satisfied. "What's wrong, dear friend? Not hungry?" The Stork's eyes said everything. She felt humiliated, tricked, made the fool at her own host's table. But she did not hiss. She did not snap back. She bowed her head gently and simply said, "Thank you for the invitation." And in that moment, she began planning her own feast. A few days later, an invitation arrived for the fox. Elegant handwriting, careful ink, a polite request to join the Stork for dinner. The fox smirked. "A chance for seconds," he said, licking his chops. He arrived at sunset, whiskers gleaming, stomach ready. The Stork greeted him with perfect courtesy and led him inside, to a table set with tall, narrow jars. Their necks long, their bases deep, perfect for a stork's slender beak. Inside each jar, a rich, fragrant stew, thick, savory, mouth-watering. The Stork dipped her beak in smoothly, pulling up generous bites with ease. The fox, meanwhile, pushed his head toward the jar and bumped it, tried sideways and scraped it, tried tipping it, and nearly knocked it over. Nothing worked. The Stork ate calmly, offering pleasant conversation, never mentioning the fox's earlier trick. But her silence said enough. She had returned his favor, exactly as given. When the fox finally realized the clever reversal, his ears drooped and his pride cracked. He stood, bowed lightly, and whispered, "I deserved that." And from that day on, he never again played tricks on guests he called friends. If you enjoyed this story, please like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.